As you all know that just like 2020, this year too, we were baffled by the COVID pandemic, but still it did not deter us from enhancing our knowledge. Each one of us were engaged in one way or the other by attending webinars, online faculty development program, refresher courses, faculty induction programs, the list is endless. Faculty development in higher education comes in many shapes and sizes. It ranges from short tutorials to year-long intensive training, from focused training on a discrete aspect of teaching and learning to programming that covers the full gamut of topics and is carefully personalized for an individual or small group. The impact and effectiveness of a faculty development program is useful in fostering a faculty's knowledge, skills, competency, aptitude, and professional competence. National Education Policy 2020 has come after a long wait of about 34 years. During this long intervening period of action as well as inertia, a number of external and internal forces have raised the need to outline the new policy parameters for education in order to analyze the continuity and change from the past policies. As we have to abreast ourselves daily, keeping this in mind, this faculty development program was conducted both in online and offline mode to apprise us with all the nuances of faculty competence aligned with the new education policy. Many interviewing sessions were taken by eminent and distinguished resource persons on some pertinent topics like evaluation and assessment with outcome-based education, pedagogy to andragogy, communication skills for business, quantitative and qualitative reorientation of research, case writing, and many more. And I hope we all had a very enriching and amazing experience. A pessimist complains about the wind, an optimist tries to change it, and a leader adjusts the sails. The sails for this particular notion were adjusted by a person who is not only a great motivator to all of us, but a visionary and a person who continuously motivates us and gives us the beliefs to bring together such events. He is none other than our respected director, sir, and the program chairperson, Professor P.N. Jha. Without taking much of the time, I feel delighted to invite our venerated director, sir, as well as the chairperson of this faculty development program, Professor P.N. Jha, sir, for the valedictory address. Sir, can we please have you on the podium?
Thank you. My respected faculty friends, ladies and gentlemen, the advent of this valedictory session has brought the terminal milestone in our week-long faculty development program. At this occasion, I once again take this opportunity to extending my heartfelt greetings to all of you on successfully completing this program and emerging out to be a squarely learner. Friends, you have been exposed to a wide array of aspects which might be revolving around the theme. The actual theme was enhancing faculty competence in context to this national education policy. Among that large pool of ideas and suggestions or recommendations or guidelines provided by our esteemed resource persons on all the various days of the FDP are expected to be revolving in your mind. Now this is the time, this valedictory session, when I am here to request you that from now onwards you begin a comprehensive introspection. So many things have been told to you. Now you have to isolate the relevant and pertinent material which would be applicable to your case only. Think of yourself before SMS Varanasi and its mission. You are a teacher of SMS. You are going to be a teacher of SMS, which is going to be an autonomous institution very soon. This is my expectation. Because the hard work and commitment which you people have shown recently would certainly bring autonomy to this institution, I am sure. So think as a teacher of the autonomous college, SMS, and accordingly, what would be your new set of responsibilities other than what you have already been doing? You are all experienced. Even one of your new friends who have joined recently is also having a very wide experience in teaching. You have basically, your first job is to win your responsibility as a teacher during your teaching learning exercise. This is the first expectation of the institution, that when you are facing the students, whether it is the classroom or outside the classroom, what kind of interaction you carry on, and then what is the outcome of it. Because you always talk about the mapping and measurement of the outcome-based education. So whatever you do in the classroom, its outcome would be evident by your measurement. Your role is well known in the world. I also salute you as a teacher, because it is only a teacher who is an integral part of the history and the growth trajectory of any country. You are the maker of the nation, you are the maker of the character. And you know, any territory, any state, any society is known by the quality of manpower. And this quality enhancement, this onerous task is done by you alone. That's why the profession, teaching profession to which you belong, I always have been saying you that your profession stands at the highest rung of the ladder of the professions. It is the mother of all the professions. So this is your status. And accordingly, the expectations would be there where you are. So first is that your performance, because you have learned again in this FDP so many things. Now the new education policy is coming. Once you get autonomy, I think after some time there will be the application of the curriculum designed by you. Recently, you all people have done a very great exercise in designing the LOCF based curriculum. So that is a hypothetical one. Now from the practical point of view, you will have to see, because curriculum has got great meanings. So far, we have been translating only the syllabi of the university. We didn't have any role over there. But now, what design you provide to your curriculum based on LOCF, that would be your sole responsibility. and the market, the society would measure it. That's why what kind of edge you are going to provide to the institution on the basis of the curriculum, that is very, very important task, number one. Now in a classroom, as I have been repeatedly telling you, that you are going to create a direct relationship with your students. It is a relationship of the teacher and the taught. It is just like a wife and husband, or doctor and the patient. It is, you see, among all the various kinds of networks and cliques, this direct relationship is the most tense and intimate. I just recall a line from a song of a Hindi film, Sangam. ये डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप को ही एक्सप्लेन करता है ये लाइन। अब आप बड़े हैं, आपके साथ शेयर करने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। सुनते हैं प्यार की दुनिया में दो दिल मुश्किल से समाते हैं, क्या गैर वहां अपनों तक के साए भी न आने पाते हैं। You see, this is the extent of intimacy. So, this is not a question of the wife and husband talking. It is a question of the teacher and taught talking in the classroom. So you have to understand your taught in that intimate way that your field of experience and the field of experience of your student, they get completely overlapped. And this is going to provide you the best of the outcome. Now what deliverables you throw through the chosen pedagogy, that is your prerogative. But for the outcome, you are responsible. Because you have studied in the communication also, that everybody among us used to carry a portable territory with him or her. And this portable territory is expected to be impregnable. It is like a castle. But you will have to make a positive dent over there. And once you make an entry in it, you invade it, you will get the response. So this invasion, this penetration, you have to do through your selected pedagogy and the content of the deliverables. They should be strong enough to make a mark over there. And only then you will be getting the needful response from your students. Next job, which is important not only at SMS, but in any other institution where you might go tomorrow. This is your incremental growth. I have always been talking with you on this line. Incremental growth not only in terms of your participation to the refresher program or this FTP, but it is your publication track. Now, there is no other way than to improve your publication track. We need at least one scopus every year from every faculty. This must be given the highest priority in your career plan, and this is going to ensure your acceptability at any institution, because there is no other way out. The LOCF design that you have made, now you think on the practical parallels, that what would be the pragmatic design of this LOCR-based curriculum in each and every course. Start thinking on the issue right from today. I'm sure whatever you have learned a lot that should be exposed during the coming semester, which is beginning very shortly. And I wish you all the best in the future. Thank you very much.
Director sir, for your inspiring and exemplary words. Faculty development is essential for renewing and assisting a faculty to maintain teaching effectiveness and adapt to innovations in professional educational institutions. The evaluation of faculty development program appears to be a significant step in maintaining its relevance and efficiency. I now request Dr. Pallavi Pathak, Associate Professor, to present a comprehensive report on this 7 days faculty development program. Ma'am, can we please have you?
Dr. Bhavna Singh. A week-long faculty development program on enhancing faculty competence vis-a-vis national education policy has been organized at School of Management Sciences from August 24 to August 31 as an SMS IQAC initiative. In all, 11 technical sessions were held through hybrid mode, conducted by 9 resource persons and attended by 41 faculty members of SMS Varanasi. In the inaugural session on day 1, that is August 24, Professor P. N. Jha, Director SMS Varanasi and Program Chairperson, extended a warm welcome to the Chief Guest, Professor Anand Kumar Tyagi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth, and Guest of Honor, Professor S. K. Singh, former Vice Chancellor, Ellen Mithila University, Darbhanga. During the welcome address, Professor Jha termed SMS as an institution that instills professionalism, humanism, and social responsibility both among the teachers and students. Professor Jha appealed to the teachers to always feel proud of their profession, as teaching is one of the noblest and sacred professions in the social domain. After that, program convener Dr. Amitabh Pandey provided a sneak peek of all the sessions to be covered in the 7 days of FTP. Chief guest Professor Anand Kumar Tyagi stated that ours is a country of diversity, and apropos new education policy, we teachers have to learn to map this diversity. He emphasized that research should be done not only for publications but to address various social issues as well. He concluded with a statement that connecting education with the masses would only be the actual litmus test of the new education policy. The guest of honor, Professor S. K. Singh, opined that the teacher's competence has a vital role to play in the new education policy. He is hopeful that the new education policy will transform India into a knowledge society and global knowledge superpower. Professor Singh highlighted 4 pillars of education that need to be stressed. These are knowledge, skill, aptitude, and attitude. After the ceremonial inauguration, the first technical session began with eminent resource person Professor Piyush Ranjan Agarwal, former Vice Chancellor, VBS Purvanchal University, Jaunpur, and APS University, Rewa. Giving an apt beginning, he explained the need and importance of new education policy and presented the competency map of higher education on various competency mixes of teacher. He declared that the entire ecosystem of higher education is not static but robust and dynamic. We need to follow a 360-degree approach towards attaining competence in higher education. Unless faculty members are equipped with the skills to deal with new scenarios, everything else will be futile. Mr. Punendu Patra coordinated the session and a vote of thanks was proposed by Professor R. K. Singh. Day 2, in the second technical session of the FDP, Dr. Tejinder Pal Singh from University Business School, Punjab, University, Chandigarh, addressed the participants on the topic aligning evaluation and assessment with OBE. He began the session by discussing challenges in the online teaching learning process and highlighted the significance of assessment in teaching. He informed that various online tools and applications are being used for the formative assessment of students. He demonstrated the different dimensions and interfaces of online tools like Insert Learning, Edpuzzle, quizzes, Google Form, Padlet, Socrative, Flipgrid and GiveGate. Dr. Ashwini Gupta conducted the session and Dr. Amit Kishore Sinha thanked the resource person. In the third technical session conducted by Mr. V. Pratap, the eminent resource person was from his alma mater, Karunya University, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, Dr. B. Evelyn Brinda, Professor and Head, Karunya Competency Development Center, thoroughly explained the imperative and process to shift from pedagogy to andragogy for the effective implementation of new education policy 2020. All the participants specially appreciated her interactive slides and command over the subject. She elucidated how the teacher-centric classrooms should shift to a student-centric classroom with more discussions, involvement and active participation of students. The concept of total teacher was also introduced by her. Total stands for transforming outcomes through active learning, stating that this is the need of the hour as the most of the students these days are hyper-connected and hyper-social. Dr. Bhavna Singh conveyed the gratitude towards the resource person on behalf of SMS. In the technical session 4, which the theme was Communication Skills for Education, the resource person, Dr. Anand Prakash, Professor and Head of Psychology, Department of Psychology, University of Delhi. He stressed on the upgradation of skills and knowledge of the teaching community. Sir also accentuated the importance of language. He said that many times language is used to conceal than to reveal. He suggested that teachers must understand the demography of the class and communicate accordingly during their deliberations. He emphasized ownership of power during transmission, that if power is distributed equally between a teacher and student, it will enhance exchange and learning. At the end, he focused on dialogue, discussion and strategies to manage diversity in the class. Dr. Saurav Kumar conducted the session while Dr. Sanjay Saxena delivered the vote of thanks. Same day, in the fifth technical session, Professor Mukesh Chaturvedi, former Professor MDI Gurgaon, interacted with the participants on the topic how language of instruction influences education outcomes. In the session, Professor Chaturvedi primarily focused on the two levels of instruction, that is macro and micro level. Prior to this, he discussed that education to him means transmission of knowledge for which one needs perfect command of the language. He also threw light on the various outcomes which are expected from education. Important of them were understanding the concept, perspective, transformation in knowledge, change in view of thinking and readiness of students for the next level. Ms. Anamika Patel conducted this session. In the sixth technical session, the topic was reorientation of research quantitative. Professor G.P. Singh from Department of Stats, Institute of Science, BHU talked about the nuances of statistics. He started by explaining the basics of stats and its associated terminologies. He further elaborated on different graphs, measures of central tendency, dispersion, skewness, kurtosis, variance and standard deviation. Professor G.P. Singh is gifted with the art of making even the problematic concept appear lucid and straightforward. Mrs. Anju Singh conducted the session and Professor R.K. Singh extended the formal vote of thanks. The seventh technical session started with the deliberation of Dr. C.S. Sharma, Professor, Shri Ram College of Commerce, University of Delhi. In this session, participants were exposed to the unventured world of qualitative analysis. He pointed out the considerations need to be taken while collecting data for qualitative research, namely checking the generalizability, measurement and observation should be subjective, repetition is not required, descriptive nature should be taken care of, and subjectivity should be maintained. Apart from this, in his deliberation, he elaborated in great detail about ontology. He dealt with all these topics through several cases. Mr. Amit Bhanja coordinated the session. On day 5 in the 8th technical session, Professor G.P. Singh sir initially talked about multivariable data summaries in his consecutive session. Under it, the themes discussed were correlation and regression. Further, he threw light on conditional univariate analysis. He also explained the conditions under which these tools are to be used. Moreover, his humble demeanor, uncomplicated delivery, and examples from day-to-day life make the audience connect with him instantly and leave them spellbound. Finally, his session ended with the nitty-gritty of statistical decision-making, after which Registrar Mr. Sanjay Gupta felicitated Professor G.P. Singh and Dr. Avinash Sukkar thanked him. Mr. Viresh Tripathi conducted this session. Post-lunch in the technical session 9, resource person Dr. C.S. Sharma continued with his deliberation on the topic of reorientation of qualitative research. Dr. Sharma asserted that one collects qualitative data, he should also capture essential characteristics of the consciousness of the subject. Dr. Sharma mentioned data collection techniques used in qualitative research are ethnography or observation and participation method and interview method through unstructured and semi-structured approaches. In the concluding part, Dr. Sharma deliberated on the analysis part and said that the focus should be on subject's perspective. To make the participants understand better, he gave various examples ranging from ancient Indian texts to the contemporary business world and even from our day-to-day lives. The session was coordinated by Mrs. Purva Sabnis, and at the end, vote of thanks was proposed again by Dr. Avinash Sukkar. In the 10th technical session, resource person Dr. M.R. Suresh from Sri Dharmsthal Manjunatheshwar Institute of Management Development SDMIMD, Mysore, Karnantaka, dealt with the topic case writing and case method of teaching. He emphasized on the differences in attitude of learners. He said that the background of students should be kept in mind for better case writing. Sir also deliberated upon the comparison of lecture method, and he also compared the lecture method and case method of teaching. As case study helps students in giving a broader exposure to a variety of industries and organizations, he reiterated that both technical and supportive aspect plays very important role in the effective case writing. Sir also elaborated upon the steps of writing a case. In the final technical session, that is session number 11, Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, 10th technical session was conducted by Dr. Sophia Khan and Mr. Kartikeya Singh, proposed vote of thanks. And finally, in the 11th technical session, Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri University Cuttack, Orissa, was the resource person of the session, and he discussed blended learning. During his deliberation, Professor Ajay Kumar Singh discussed topics like teaching learning through MOOC, academic bank of credits, flipped teaching in classrooms, essential technology and resources. He further emphasized that MOOC design includes 4 quadrants containing learning resources, e-content, discussion forum, assignments and exams. His team gave the live demonstration of Creative Common platforms. He also, in the end, he discussed about the LMS, highlighted WebCD, Blackboard, Moodle and other platforms. Mr. Kartikeya Singh conducted this session while Professor K.S. Mishra conveyed the gratitude to Professor Ajay Kumar Singh. Blessed are we to get the opportunity to listen to the discourse of such accomplished and exemplar personalities. All the 11 technical sessions ended with the clarification of the queries and doubts of the participants. I wish to thank all the session reporters, Ms. Anamika Patel, Dr. Santosh Kumar, Mr. Suraj Prakash Singh, Dr. Shishir Gujarati, Mr. Himanshu Upadhyay, Mr. Saurabh Srivastav, Mr. Kartikeya Singh, Mr. Aviral Mishra, Mr. Chandrasekhar Singh, Mr. Veer Pratap, and Mr. Punendu Patra for their kind cooperation. Thank you very much.
Professor Rajkumar Singh, sir.
हमारे नाम क्यों नहीं है आपको बताइए
Dr. Sanjay Saxena, sir. Dr. Avinash Chandra Sukkar. Dr. Amit Kishore Sinha. Dr. Pallavi Pathak. Dr. Amitav Pandey, Mr. Atish Khadse, Dr. Bhavna Singh, Mr. Sunil Kumar Mishra, Dr. Bharat Kumar, Mr. Rohit Mehta, Mr. Kartikeya Singh,
इसमें निकल जाएंगे।
Dr. Saurabh Kumar, Dr. Shishir Kumar Gujarati, Mr. Punendu Patra, Mr. Himanshu Upadhyay, Mr. Veer Pratap, Irfan Ahmed Khan, Mr. Chandrasekhar Singh, Mr. Viresh Tripathi, Mr. Saurabh Kumar Srivastav, Mr. Amit Kumar Bhanja, Dr. Sophia Khan, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Gupta, Dr. Gaurav Shah, Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, Mrs. Anju Singh, Ms. Anamika Patel, Mr. Abhirat Mishra, Dr. Santosh Kumar, Mr. Suraj Prakash Singh, Dr. Mahendra Kumar Sharma. And now from the computer faculty, Dr. Kamal Sheel Mishra, Mr. Anand Prakash Dubey, Mr. Sambhu Sharan Srivastav, Mr. Ram Gopal Gupta, Dr. Aditya Kumar Gupta, Mr. Sushil Kumar, Mr. Vikas Chandra Sharma,
पिलाने की बड़ी साजिश है तुम पिए नहीं
Ms. Purva Sanjay Sabri. Every celebration is an experience. The external fades away and the internal lingers and echoes in the most depth of our heart. We are reminded that events like this one are milestones in the journey of life. The time has now come to draw a curtain to the 7 days faculty development program as we come to the close of it. I now invite Dr. Amitav Pandey, Associate Professor and also the program convener, to please propose vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Honorable Director, Sir, Professor P. N. Jha, also the program chairperson, and my dear colleagues who are participating in this faculty development program. We have come to the end of this 7 days faculty development program on enhancing faculty competency vis-a-vis national education policy. But I'm sure the joy of learning will never stop, and we have now emerged more competent as it was desired. It was one of the objectives of the LTP to become more competent and more NEP ready. So I'm sure from tomorrow onwards, or rather from today onwards, we will be better equipped to face the challenges thrown to us as a faculty members by the environment, which is likely to change and which is ever changing. And this is the task that has been given to me to propose the vote of thanks, and I take this opportunity to thank first of all the management of the School of Management Sciences Varanasi, our Honorable Director Professor P. N. Jha sir, the Executive Secretary Dr. M. P. Singh sir, and the Registrar of the Institute Mr. Sanjay Gupta, for giving me all the freedom and support to successfully convene this 7 days faculty development program. Without their support, I would not have been able to do it so effectively. And let me tell you, when you get such kind of a freedom and support, you not only find your task easy, but also you will start enjoying the task given to you. So I'm very thankful to them for lending this kind of a support and freedom to me. Then I want to express my sincere gratitude to all the resource persons and guests who have blessed us with their presence, with their gracious presence in the 7 day long FDP. Starting from the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Darbit, Professor Anand Kumar Tyagi, Honorable Former Vice Chancellor of L.M. Mitra University, Darbhanga, Professor S.K. Singh sir, who graced the inaugural session of this faculty development program and who enlightened us with their words of wisdom. And then I'm also thankful to other resource persons, including Professor Piyush Ranjan Agarwal, the former Vice Chancellor of VPS Purvanchal University and APS Rewa University. And then I'm also thankful to the other resource persons, including Professor Tejinder Pal Singh from UBS University, UBS Chandigarh, University Business School Chandigarh, Punjab University. Professor V. Evelyn Brinda, Professor from Karunya University, Coimbatore. Professor Anand Prakash from Department of Psychology, Delhi University. Then Professor Mukesh Chaturvedi, who is the retired professor from MDI Gurgaon. Professor G.P. Singh from Department of Statistics, Varanasi University. Professor C.S. Sharma from Sri Ram College of Commerce, University of Delhi. And Professor M.R. Suresh, Professor of Marketing from SDIMD, Mysore, Karnataka. And Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sri Sri University, Cuttack, Odisha. We have been fortunate to drench ourselves with the showering of their academic blessings on us, and I express my sincere gratitude to all the eminent resource persons. I am also thankful to my faculty colleagues for their valuable contribution in making this event successful. They have contributed in many ways. First of all, I would like to take the names of my faculty members who helped organize this program successfully by smoothly conducting the different sessions. There were 11 sessions, and there was one inaugural session and a valedictory session. So in all, there were 13 such sessions which were smoothly and beautifully conducted by my faculty colleagues, namely Dr. Pallavi Pathak, Mr. Punendu Patra, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Gupta, Mr. Veer Pratap, Dr. Saurav Kumar, Ms. Anamika Patel, Mrs. Anju Singh, Mr. Amit Kumar Bhanja, Mr. Viresh Tripathi, Mrs. Purva Sabnis, Dr. Sophia Khan, Mr. Kartikeya Singh, and Dr. Bhavna Singh. Again, all these sessions were beautifully covered and reported by the session reporters, including Ms. Anamika Patel, Dr. Santosh Kumar, Mr. Suraj Prakash, Mr. Himanshu Upadhyay, Dr. Shishir Gujarati, Mr. Saurabh Kumar Srivastava, Mr. Vikas Chand Sharma, Mr. Aviral Mishra, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Gupta, Mr. Veer Pratap Singh, Mr. Punendu Patra, and I'm also thankful to Dr. Pallavi Pathak ma'am for presenting the final report of the FDP in the valedictory session. So I express my sincere gratitude and thankfulness to all the faculty colleagues who did who conducted the sessions and coordinated the session, and who prepared the report of the session. And also, I'm highly thankful to those faculty colleagues who proposed the vote of thanks in all the different sessions. Then I'm also thankful to my colleague, Mr. Veer Pratap, Mrs. Anju Singh, and also Mr. Iqbal, who managed the entire registration, kit distribution, and feedback collection process so efficiently. I got the support from the transport committee, which included Mr. Rajesh Singh, Mr. Viresh Tripathi, and Mr. Atul Mukhopadhyay, who arranged all the transport related things. And I'm also thankful to Mr. Atul Mukhopadhyay for arranging the food and other refreshment during the faculty development program. My special thanks are due to the members of the computer center, especially Mr. Pradeep Kumar, the head of the systems at SMS Varanasi. He beautifully arranged it was a hybrid program, and he could arrange it so beautifully that we did not even feel that we are attending to online sessions. Sitting in this conference hall at a centralized location, we were able to see the guests, and it was, it was almost as if we were listening to them in person. So I express my thankfulness to him for making such a beautiful arrangement. And I am also thankful to the members of the computer center, Mr. Vijay Yadav, Mr. Umesh Singh, and Mr. Salen Pandey for taking care of the system related works, recording, photography, and arranging the links and other things, technical things. And I am also thankful to the members of the media and publicity committee, which included Mr. Irfan Ahmed Khan, Dr. Bharat Kumar, Dr. Gaurav Shah, and Mr. Vijay Yadav. They have made sure that the event got coverage in the media, and I'm also thankful to the members of the DTP cell, Mr. Akhilesh Kumar Dubey and Mr. Saurabh Rastogi, who were very helpful in designing the program schedule, the creatives, and also in sending the messages on time. And I'm also thankful to the members of the technical staff who helped in ensuring the mic and other projector related arrangements for the FDP. So at the end, I would like to express my thanks to all the participants of the faculty members, participating faculty members. Last but not least, you have been very, patient and also you cooperated a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.